This is my love letter to the Skinny Can Cozy because a picture is worth 1,000 words, but a video is worth Hey everyone, my name is Natalie, also known as Knitty Natty, and this is the Skinny Can Cozy knit out of fingering weight yarn. So the Skinny Can Cozy comes in two versions, the self-striping, and then this is what I like to call like the sporty stripes. It is perfect for a 12 fluid ounce skinny can, so think of those like hard seltzers or even sparkling water. This pattern will be available in my Ravelry and Etsy shops on Thursday, July 2nd, 2020. And if you already have any of the bundles that this pattern is going to come in, that's the Classic Cozy Bundle or the Fall Means Football Collection, you will automatically get the Skinny Can Cozy for free. So in this video, I'm actually doing a bigger giveaway than just the Skinny Can Cozy. I am going to also be talking about the self-striping versions of the Classic Can and the Classic Bottle Cozy. So in the spirit of that, I am doing a giveaway of all three cozy patterns. So the whole entire Classic Cozy bundle. So if you want to enter that giveaway and you're watching here in the first hour that this video is posted, make sure you comment down below and you will be entered to win. I'll be picking one person for every 10 comments. So you have a really good chance to win. And of course, there is a coupon code for the Skinny Can Cozy on both Ravelry and Etsy. It is a 30% off coupon code and it will be good for 1 week, actually 8 days, because this pattern is coming out on a Thursday and the coupon code is going to be good until the next Friday, July 10th. So that 30% coupon code is SKINNY30. So make sure to use that on Ravelry and Etsy when the pattern comes out for the next week to get your 30% off. Okay, so let's talk about the inspiration. So this all started with the Classic Bottle Cozy, which came out in the fall of 2018 with my Fall Means Football collection. So that collection isn't just about cozies, it has a hat and it has some socks in it, and then also the cozy. And all of these patterns are designed to be made in two colors. So if you want to knit them in team colors, you can. So after the bottle cozy came out, I immediately wanted to do a can cozy for just like soda cans, but it was another year until that pattern came out in December of 2019. So when the can cozy came out, the Classic Can Cozy, people right away were like, oh, we need a Skinny Can Cozy, even some of my non-knitting friends. And so I just knew that that was the perfect idea for the summer. So I've been holding it back until the summertime and it's finally ready to be released. Now, while I was actually working on the Skinny Can Cozy, just the regular version, and I know these are not team colors, these are just really fun ones. I'll tell you the details here in a second. But I came up with the idea to do a self-striping version. And then I knew I couldn't just do self-striping for the Skinny Can Cozy. I had to do it for all of the cozies that I already had. So also on Thursday, July 2nd, every single version will get an additional PDF and you will have a self-striping version or self-striping instructions added on to the original cozy instructions. Also, I've had some new tutorials since then, so those will all get added in there as well. So all three patterns are getting an update. So I'm really excited about that. So let's talk about the journey for the Skinny Can Cozy. It was a relatively easy journey having two cozies already before that. And I also had some yarn cozies in between, which is actually where I got that idea to do self-striping versions. So it was pretty smooth sailing. Of course, I did have to do some ripping and adjustments, and even in testing, we had to make some adjustments to the length. It's always interesting in testing when others work on your pattern, you know, their gauge is different and things change. And so it really helps to have it tested. And this time I had 15 wonderful knitters who tested the original version and many more who tested the self-striping. So you can rest assured that these patterns are ready to go. So let's talk about how to use it. So pretty self-explanatory here. The cozies on their own are kind of little odd ducklings, but of course you put your little can in here. So I would suggest not opening up your can until the cozy is on, and then you just go ahead and slide it in from the top all the way up. This one has been nicely blocked, and then there you go. What's great about it is there's a bottom to it. This is where you actually start the pattern, and that acts as a built-in coaster. So when you're setting it down, you don't have to worry about like clinking it on anything hard or even sweat. This yarn will kind of absorb that. The other great thing is that this uses up scrap yarn. So it's a wonderful scrappy project. And because it's pretty quick, it's really great for gifts. Since you can make it in lots of like fun, sporty colors, it's a really great gift for men who I find especially hard to knit with, or knit for, excuse me. So like for my husband or my dad or my brothers, I've made all of them cozies in their like favorite team colors, and they really seem to like that. Now, since this self-striping version is coming into play, this is a really great way to use up leftovers from self-striping sock yarn. I find that when I put self-striping yarn into some of my scrappy blankets, it just looks a lot different than my solids. I still do it, but I didn't always love it. So having another option for your self-striping scraps, I think this is a really great project to use those up. So let's get into those details. I'm gonna be looking at my computer to make sure I get everything right for you guys. So for the, we'll say, sporty stripes version, you are going to need about 7 grams of the main color, 7 to 8 grams. So on the pattern, it'll say 10 just to be safe. And then for the contrasting color, which you see in the stripes and at the I-cord, that is going to be about 3 to 4 grams, but of course we'll say 5 just to be safe. So a really great way to use up scraps. For the self-striping version, in total you're going to need about 10 grams, but again, let's say 15 just to be safe. And this is one continuous strand of yarn from beginning to end. The gauge on this pattern is 8 stitches per inch, or about whatever you would use for sock knitting. So I use a US size 1, 2.25 millimeter, but if you use something different for socks, go ahead and use that. My testers ranged from a 0 because they're a loose knitter up to a 1.5 or a 2 if they are a tighter knitter. So make sure to use whatever you are comfortable with for your sock knitting. Definitely the best tip here is, if you are a tighter knitter or have tight bind offs, is to have a larger needle ready to do this I-cord bind off. That just makes it so much stretchier, and you'll be really happy when you're trying to put the cozy onto your can. As far as any special stitches go, this is a relatively simple pattern. There is of course ribbing, so knitting and purling. There is some increasing. There's also changing colors if you are doing the like sporty stripes version. And then there is the stretchy I-cord bind off. Now, luckily I have videos for many of these techniques on my YouTube channel, and they are also linked down below and linked in the pattern. So let's go over those tutorials now. There are 4 tutorials for this pattern. The first one is the super stretchy bind off, or super stretchy I-cord bind off, which you can see right here. Makes it nice and stretchy. You can go view that on YouTube right now. The other one is knitting stripes in the round, because when you are working on these self-striping versions, you have to do a special technique so that you don't see the color changes throughout. The third one is sewing your I-cord bind off together, because once you finish binding off, you have 2 little ends and you want to sew them together seamlessly. And then the very last one, I think, is my favorite one, and it's not exclusive to this pattern, and this one is a technique for knitting over your ends. So as you can see, you are going to change colors quite a few times, but I actually only had to weave in a handful of ends on this cozy. So the way that works is, of course, I had an end when I started, but once I joined in my blue yarn or my contrasting yarn, there's a technique to knit over your ends. You carry your main color up the inside and your contrasting color between these two stripes so you don't have any extra ends there. And then you can knit over your end here, here, and here. It's really, really nice. So I've got a video on that if you want to go check that out. Right this second, you can go look and use it for any of your projects, especially when you're knitting in the round and the inside is not going to be seen. It's a really great technique. So let's talk about these pattern additions for just a second. So the very first one, I grabbed the wrong one first. The very first one was the classic bottle cozy that came out first. And also on Thursday, July 2nd, you're going to see a self-striping version come out. So this is not going to be a new pattern. It's just going to be an addition to the original pattern. So if you already own the classic bottle cozy, make sure to check your email and your Ravelry inbox because you will see this pattern on Thursday. Same thing with the classic can cozy. You're going to see another PDF available for download, so make sure to grab that if you want the instructions for the self-striping version. Now, what makes these different, because you might think, well, can I just work them up the same? It's a little bit trickier than just that. Not that it's tricky to knit, but there are, again, those techniques for when you're knitting self-striping ribbing, how to hide those color changes, and then also I'm including instructions on how to basically manipulate your stripes so that you end up with a solid I-cord at the end. So you definitely want to check that out. I'm getting those versions test knit as well, so they will be perfect and ready for you on Thursday. So there you go. That's all the details that you ever wanted to know about the Skinny Can Cozy. Don't forget to use that coupon code SKINNY30 to get 30% off for the first week. And if you're watching this within the first hour, make sure to comment so that you can enter to win the whole classic cozy bundle. I am signing off my love letter to the Skinny Can Cozy. Love and stitches, Knitty Natty.